Welcome back to Real Life and Real Estate. My name is Nikki Robbs. I'm a local real estate agent serving Tacoma, Puyallup, and more. Pierce County, Thurston County, Kitsap County. I go a lot of places. I do a lot of things, and I've lived here for 25 years. So that means I've raised my kids here, and we have played at almost every park imaginable. We've been to a lot of sporting events, so I know a lot of the school whereabouts, and I also know a lot of the baseball fields and the sports complexes nearby. So I'm at home, I'm very at home here in Pierce County. So if you're thinking of moving to the Tacoma area, then this is the episode for you. Because this is the episode where I share all the places where you can get to know an area without actually being there. One of the things that the real estate agent world is very strict about, it's in our laws, is that we are not allowed to tell you anything that could steer you toward or away from certain neighborhoods. That you have the power to make these decisions on your own, and you have the power to evaluate what your comfort level is for all kinds of different things. And that can be your comfort level with the neighbor's paint choices, right? It can be, oh, I drove by this neighborhood and some of the houses are pink and some of the houses are purple. Okay, well, if that fits your aesthetic, then great, you're probably gonna feel right at home there. And if it doesn't, you probably knew right away. So now that is a very frivolous and silly example of some of the things that your real estate agent isn't going to tell you. But here's some other things that we are not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you about the schools. We're not going to tell you whether it's a great school, it's a good school, it's a school that's good at this, it's a school that's good at that. That is up to you to find out. Oh, don't you love getting notifications in the middle of a recording? Because I didn't mute my phone. Well, that was fun. Anyway. You know your kid and your school situation, and so you're the one that needs to evaluate whether or not that school is a good school for you. We also can't tell you crime statistics. Whether it's safe or not is really an evaluation that you need to do. And so here I am, giving you and I have a third one, just the general feel of the neighborhood and the demographics of the neighborhood. I also cannot tell you that. And there's no reason you would want me to know that. I mean, really, offhand, you want me to tell you about any given neighborhood? Because Tacoma and Puyallup are pretty diverse as far as demographics, and you can find just about anything within a few blocks of each other. So that being said, here are some resources for you to make an educated, informed decision when you're looking at different neighborhoods and you're thinking of buying your next home. Number one, my favorite thing is Google Street View. That's right, it's such a simple tool. But when I'm buying a house, and I encourage everyone else to do this also, get on Google Street View and do what I call a Google drive-by. So not only am I looking at the house that I want, but then I look at the neighbors' houses, and I look at the neighbors' houses, all right, and I turn that Street View thing this way, and I turn it that way, and I do the 360, but then I also do a virtual drive down the street. And I check out all the other neighbors' houses, because that's what I'll actually do when I'm there. I love to walk and run in my own neighborhood, and so I might as well do it virtually whenever I can, so that I can get to know, oh, is this a place I'm comfortable running, walking with my dog or on a bike or whatever? That's for me. I'm the only one who can know what I'm comfortable with, and so I do these Google drive-bys. And I might spend a lot of time in a neighborhood virtually, going back and forth and, oh, how does this street connect? And I really start to get a feel for the neighborhood. I do always watch the published year of those photos, because sometimes they're very old. Sometimes they're yesterday, and that neighborhood can change in a couple of years. So do check that out. So number one tool is Google. Google Street Views on Google Maps. It's pretty fantastic. Finding out that you're on a dead-end road, or that the trees cause a lot of shade in the summertime, it's just extra knowledge, and your listing is never going to show you any of that. Number two, great schools. That website, I'm going to pull it up right now because I don't want to misquote it. Right, greatschools.org. Good, I double checked. Greatschools.org is sort of like the Yelp of schools, or the Google reviews of schools. People do leave a lot of real-time personal experience reviews of those schools. So again, just like Yelp, take that with a grain of salt, because just because they hated it doesn't mean that you will. Just because they loved it doesn't mean that you will, but it does give you a lot more information than the school website. The school website is always going to look amazing, and they're always going to tell you about the things that they want you to know. And then review sites tell you the things that you maybe didn't want to know. So if you're looking for a school district or a particular elementary, this one versus that one, am I going to have the kids bused? Are they transferring? Do I need to provide transportation to these schools? A lot of that you can find out on greatschools.org. So that's our number 2. Number 3, people always want to ask about crime statistics, and that is not something that I'm allowed to tell you. We just don't discuss it, okay? Otherwise, you would need me to be an expert in too many things, so that's just too many things for me to do. So here is one website you will want to bookmark and take a look at. It's called spotcrime.com. You can type in any address, even your own, and find out what were the reported crimes nearby or in an area. And then, keep in mind that, again, when did this happen? Was this a period of 30 days or was this over a period of 3 years? There can be quite a lot going on in 3 years, so make sure you're checking your parameters for that. One of my favorite ways to get to know the crime level in a neighborhood is to get on a Facebook group, or Ring, or Nextdoor, or anywhere that neighbors talk a lot. And you will find out very quickly from just perusing these sorts of groups whether they have coyotes, whether they have a lot of loud cars or loud parties or whatever, or maybe they have a lot of kids. Maybe there's a park nearby. Maybe they're near a main street, and so they're concerned about traffic. They're concerned about noise. These sorts of real life situations that gets people talking in an unfiltered way is a great way to do research on an area and a neighborhood without having to actually go there. All right, and then last resource here, I found this one just a little bit earlier. The FBI has a crime data explorer, and so you can look up a state and a type of crime. I didn't know this. And then find out how common it is, how many incidents have occurred over a certain period of time. So if you're probably already into a true crime podcast anyway, then you probably already knew about this website. But I found that fascinating because I do sell homes in a lot of different areas, and maybe I should look up whether or not a certain type of crime is common in a certain area. So there's some resources for you. Whenever you are out actively buying and you're talking with your real estate agent, there's so many things that you're the only one who can really know the feel of the home when you walk in. Does it feel right to you? You're the only one who can know how much garden space you want, or how much room your dog needs to run, or how long that commute is going to be. So of all the things I can do for you, here's a few things that I can't. I can't tell you about the schools, can't tell you about the crime data, and I cannot tell you about the demographics of a neighborhood, but here's some resources for you. And some agents might say don't talk to the neighbors, but I actually think you should. If you are at an open house or you're at a showing and you have the chance to talk to an existing neighbor, maybe someone's walking their dog, or maybe someone is out mowing the lawn, it's not a bad idea for you to stop by and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying this house. Can you tell me more about why you love this neighborhood? For one thing, some neighborhoods might say that they have HOAs, and they might actually be disbanded HOAs. Now, we're required to still say that in the documents if it hasn't been disbanded, but a neighbor may have more accurate information or more recent information. What if it's just an HOA that doesn't meet? Yes, there are letters of incorporation, but then they don't actually do anything. That'd be a good one to find out. If people have fences, if there's... Coyote keeps springing to the top of my mind, and I think that's just because it's an ongoing problem where I live. I live near a set of woods on the side of a hill that leads to more woods, and so people talk about coyotes a lot where I live. So there you go. Great schools. Stop us. Oh shoot, now I forgot what it is. Greatschools.org, spotcrime.org, and then the FBI Crime Data Explorer all fantastic ways. And then of course, Google Street View and Neighbors. So thank you for being with me today for Real Life and Real Estate. I'm Nikki Robb, serving Tacoma, Puyallup, and beyond. This episode was edited and produced by Will Robb's Art. And thank you for being with us. Let's get you home.